Hey yo, what is up guys? Your boy is back with yet another wrestling review. And today we are going to we're going back to more of my nostalgia here. Elimination Chamber 2013. Okay, so this show, I remember kind of being kind of sad when Punk lost the belt because I was a huge CM Punk fan at that point in my life. And so here he was going to the show. He kind of took his belt back on Raw, and yeah, so that was the main event: CM Punk versus The Rock 2. And yeah, let's talk about the show. So the show started off with a World Heavyweight Championship match: Alberto Del Rio versus The Big Show. So Alberto Del Rio, I believe, won the championship on SmackDown. I think I've talked about this. Back in like December, I want to say it was, of 2012 or early January, because they had a series of matches. And this match here, it was good. It wasn't anything like special or anything like that. It was just a solid wrestling match. The Big Show, I don't feel like this was really one of his better performances, like the match against like Brock Lesnar in the stretcher match. I just felt like this was just kind of, it was just kind of there. I don't know. I didn't really feel it too much. I also watched the Spanish version because that was the version I could find of it, the match. So the match itself was actually, like I said, it was just decent. Alberto Del Rio, he wrestled this match like he was just wrestling someone like the same size as him. He's just going right at Big Show. He's throwing strikes, kicks. He's trying to wrestle him down, get him in the cross arm breaker. There was a moment where Big Show, he got him down in the corner, and he did the Vader bomb onto him, and then I think he hit a spear on him too at some point. Then there was a pretty cool like dive moment onto the outside. So there's also this moment where Alberto Del Rio, he was going for that enziguri kick, and he slipped on the ropes, and you're kind of just watching it. You just see like Alberto in the background slip and fall on the ropes and like land, and then he goes for it again and he hits Big Show on the head because Ricardo Rodriguez had put that bucket where he had like his towel and his water bottle in, and Big Show was like holding it up here. So yeah, I felt like Alberto Del Rio, he was doing a really good job with the belt here. I was actually, looking back on it, I mean, despite all his crazy antics outside the ring, I actually kind of liked when he was wrestling, and he had a very, very unique charisma and look to him. I see why they were looking for him to tap into the Latino market. And Alberto Del Rio, he wins with the cross arm breaker. Big Show has to tap out. They really, like, he was in it, and you're like, is he going to get to the ropes? Is he not going to get to the ropes? So yeah, another big win for Alberto Del Rio. Moving on, so that was the World Heavyweight Championship match. This here must have been the Intercontinental Championship match with The Miz defending against Cesaro. I want to say it was the IC belt because I believe The Miz was the IC champion. It wasn't the US Championship. Has to be the IC. Anyway, so The Miz defending against Cesaro here. He had Bob Backlund in his corner. I'm gonna have to go watch some of this stuff again, dude. I don't remember like some of this stuff. It's like, what was going on here? And it's like, Bob Backlund's back. All right. They don't even like mention him anymore, so kind of weird. Miz, I guess he hurt his shoulder at some point here, so it was all taped up, and Cesaro was working over the arm for like the first like 4 or 5 minutes of this match, and then he hits like this nasty looking shoulder breaker. It looked great. So the Miz, he eventually starts working over Cesaro's knee, because at the time, I think Miz still does it to this day. He does the figure 4, and so Cesaro kind of hits his knee. I think he hits it on the outside. I think he hit it on like the steel steps, and then Miz gets him in the figure 4, and then there was this kind of weird spot. I can't remember how like Cesaro kind of like kicked the Miz or whatever after he was getting out of the figure 4, and the Miz fell into like a knee that hit Cesaro in the nuts, and the ref called the match, even though it was pretty incidental. Even though these guys can like it's kind of a weird ending to the match when you really think about it. It's like the Miz slammed this guy's leg into the steel steps, which I guess is okay, but him falling and accidentally hitting Cesaro in the nuts is not okay. Really strange. Yeah, well, that was a match. Moving on. Elimination Chamber was in like the middle of the show here, and I watched the 2014 Elimination Chamber, and that was just like great. Like that match had like just so much. I am really sorry. That match, it had it had a lot of like stakes, and you could just tell like the competitiveness at the time. And this match here, it was just a #1 contender match for Alberto Del Rio's World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. And like I said in the last video about Jack Swagger would have been a freaking massive baby face in a lot of those states today. He, like, that "We the People" chant and everything like that, like, like, I like Zeb Coulter. Zeb Coulter was cool. Like, even like back then, it's like I didn't really like this is I never actually mentioned this in the review, but it was kind of interesting that they were doing a USA versus Mexico, whereas like the USA guy was the heel and the foreigner was the face. Like, that was interesting. A lot of people don't really talk about that, but anyways, let's talk about the match here. So Daniel Bryan, Chris Jericho, they start off the match, and yeah, this is a really, really good start. Jericho and Bryan, a lot of people, there's a lot of like similarities between the guys where they were both world traveled, so they're very, very respected by wrestling fans. Bryan was doing the Team Hell No thing with Kane at this point. So yes, he was really over, but it's kind of crazy to see, like, he was like very, very popular, and then like it was just taking off from here, like to see where he got to at SummerSlam, and then obviously in the months to come after that, like he was popular here, and then it just rose. So Jack Swagger, he's the next one to enter the match, and yeah, so he kind of goes for like a splash on like Daniel Bryan, but Daniel Bryan kind of wasn't in like the hit detection range, and he just kind of looked like Jack Swagger smashed himself into the chain. So yeah, they were going at it, and they were slamming each other on the chain. There was I think they ended up on the other side, and like Swagger's there, and then Daniel Bryan, he jumps and hits Swagger with a knee, and that looked pretty nasty. Just like the landing, like that must have sucked. Like you're like seeing some of this stuff. Oh right. Swagger, he also freaking stepped on Bryan's head at one point here, and like in between like the grate and his foot. That was gnarly. So yeah, I think after that, Kane, he gets into the match, and yeah, you know, Kane, he's a house of fire he and Daniel Bryan, Daniel Bryan's like, let's work together. So they're kind of doing like some sequence moves and stuff, and finally Kane, they kind of throw Jericho and Swagger to the outside, and then Daniel Bryan goes for a roll up on Kane, trying to like get the quick victory on him, and then Kane kicks out, and he's like, what the heck did you do that for? And then Daniel Bryan's, come on, man, let's hug it out. And then Kane's like, no. He's like, yes, no. So it's like the no yes thing again. Very, very entertaining at the time. Kane and Team Hell No, they get a lot of love on this channel. Team Hell No, they were the dudes. I love that tag team. Like, yeah, they were a lot of fun. Like, you kind of forget about them, like with everything the Usos have done recently. It's like, oh yeah, Team Hell No, they were pretty wicked back in the day. They were pretty major. Anyway, so yeah, I think next up was Randy Orton. Randy Orton came into the ring, and yeah, Orton hit this DDT on Kane on the outside, and man, they really used the chamber on each other in this match, because they kicked each other's ass with that thing. Holy crap. There are some moves on there. It's like, geez. Then Mark Henry gets in the match, and I miss Mark Henry, man. Mark Henry, there's just something to be said for tanks. Any guy who's just big and jacked, it's just awesome to see. And Mark Henry, this is a great performance from Mark Henry. He busted his ass out here. He was just destroying people. Then eventually he got like, I think they all had to like, he was just like slamming people all over the place. And then I think, him and Kane went at it for a bit. That was pretty cool to see again. And then like, I think he ends up eliminating Daniel Bryan, and then he eliminates Kane, and then Jericho and Swagger, they do a double suplex to Mark Henry on the outside, and that was like, whoa, Mark Henry just got destroyed. And then like Swagger did hit like a Swagger bomb on him, and then Jericho did like a he did a lion salt, and then finally he did a code breaker, and then Randy Orton went for an RKO, and that got Mark Henry eliminated. And yeah, Mark Henry looked really amazing in this match. So then finally you're down to like the final three, and this was a really awesome, like everything here, it was like just like a good match. And then but like the last like little bit here is where it like took it to that like kind of like next level, not the 4-star level, I wouldn't call it that, but it was definitely a very good match. And then like finally with so Randy Orton RKO's Chris Jericho, pins him. Jack Swagger just rushes in, rolls him right up. 1, 2, 3. I loved it. I love how he just kind of stole the victory from him. didn't even have a chance to like recover. I really, really like this match. It wasn't as good as like a lot of Elimination Chamber matches, but this one, for the fans in attendance, they definitely put on a very, very good performance. So can't really hate on that one. Anyways, so going on to the Shield versus what was kind of booked as like the superheroes of WWE was Ryback, John Cena, and Sheamus. So the Shield, this was weird. They mentioned that this is the Shield's like second match. So TLC 2012 would have been their first match together, and this is only their second one. And it was weird because it's like they were just so dominant, and you remember like the first 6 months of them being there, they were just like this dominant tag team. But yeah, I'd have to go back and like watch a lot of that stuff. So I definitely do like reviews on the Shield match. Then they were so good. But yes, so the Shield, they were kind of like I think the good guys, they kind of had like their moment early. The Shield eventually, just like a pack of wolves, just took over the match, and they were just working over John Cena. John Cena, he just got pinned in that ring for like a very, very long time. So he was just getting his ass kicked for like quite a while. And before that, I should have mentioned that Sheamus, he hit this bro kick on Dean Ambrose, and that looked pretty wicked. So yeah, this match, it was a very, very entertaining match, as you can tell. So the match, obviously, it always breaks down as it does. I believe, I want to say, was it Sheamus? Yeah, I think Sheamus got, like, he got speared through the outside ring steps. The John Cena and Ryback are in the ring. I think John Cena, he hit, like, an AA on, was it, like, Seth Rollins or whoever? And then Reigns gets back in as, like, Seth Rollins is going, or he's got Seth Rollins up for a shell shock. Reigns spears him. He falls on top. 1, 2, 3. They get the win. So yeah, this was a really good match. They had some like really, really good moments here. I like the suplex part where they all were holding the Shield guys up for the suplexes. Just a really good showing for the Shield. They were like TLC 2012, Elimination Chamber 2013, WrestleMania 29. Extreme Rules 2013. These guys just stood out. You could tell that these guys are just going on to do some big and great things on in the wrestling business, and you could just tell these guys were going to the moon at some point here. They were going to carry the company into the future, so that you could just see it. So yeah, really good match here. Not as good as the Elimination Chamber match, but I really enjoyed it. So main event time. We got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson versus CM Punk, or I should just call him The Rock. And, you know, The Rock, he looked shredded here. I like the story. I like the promo leading into this. The entrances. Like, this felt big time. The Rock, like, he looks more shredded in this, like, than he ever did. Like, obviously, whatever, he did some liposuction and stuff like that. But nevertheless, looked very, very good coming into this match. And CM Punk, it's weird to say that this was the last of, like, prime CM Punk. Like, 2013... like, is that last prime year we have of CM Punk. So it's interesting that was also his pretty much, technically speaking, like 2011 to 2013 was CM Punk's biggest run in the business. So like, think about like the people he wrestled that year: Undertaker, Rock, John Cena, Brock Lesnar, Chris Jericho, all just in 2013. And I think he wrestled the Shield guys. So he did a lot just like in 2013. So this is one of those years where it was a decade that happened in it for CM Punk. And he had time off from like 2 months. So yeah, that was pretty crazy. So this match here, let's talk about it. So The Rock, he hadn't really been like he had, but you could tell like he was in good shape, and he had like, this was a good match, but it wasn't like a peak match. It was just like a really, really fun match in the sense that like the crowd got really into this. So CM Punk, he really, really dominated a lot of this match too. So I said that about the Shield and John Cena match, but CM Punk, he really worked over The Rock. He had him in like a chin lock for like a solid probably 5 minutes of the match here. Let's just be honest. Really whooped on The Rock here. A lot of strikes. The match really picked up after, like, because The Rock could lose on a disqualification or a count out. So CM Punk, he tried to rock bottoms The Rock onto the announce table. Rock, he beats the 10 count coming in, and so he catches the Punk's punch, and he just sends this wicked one right back. It looked amazing. So yeah, the Rock, he starts fighting his way back into the match, and that's where things really picked up. He did like whole like jumping clothesline, and yeah, this was a very, very. This is where everything got like really, really good. It was interesting where like Paul Heyman, he was kind of up on the ring, and then the referee was there, and then CM Punk shoved the Rock into the referee, taking the ref out. CM Punk hits the GTS, and Punk has the visual cover on the Rock, so he's covered the Rock twice in like a month. So covered him he pinned him at Royal Rumble, still lost the championship because of the Shield involvement, and then he has the visual pin here. So kind of interesting that had happened, and so. And then eventually another referee comes in. The Rock he hits a rock bottom on Punk. Punk kicks out, and then Punk kind of like rolls into the ref, and the ref rolls his ankle, and he falls out of the ring. And then so the crowd, they were super super into it at this point. And then I believe the Rock he hits a spine buster, goes for a people's elbow, another cover on Punk, gets the win. So yeah, this was a very very good match here. I liked it. It was a good match. I think I liked the Rumble match better. This was pretty good, and it was a lot of fun. Definitely like when I missed like the Rock's original run, but so to see him here, like I watch all his matches on YouTube and stuff. So it's like don't worry, I didn't miss much. I was watching, but to see the Rock here, and he had a great performance, and just to see like him come back and wrestle as CM Punk and John Cena and stuff like that was really, really awesome. And I was really happy to see it. And you know what, in a way, I'm really happy to see him just do pro wrestling again. Like, I'm happy he's not just doing like one-off segments all the time. I'm happy he's actually going to be like a part of the shows going forward. And, you know, it was really great when he was there back in 2011, 2012, and 2013. So this was really awesome. And yeah, this was a solid match here. And yeah, so I will put my links down in the description. So my Instagram, if you guys want to follow me, and all the star ratings will be there. And I'll put WrestleMania 29. I did a review for that last year. If you guys want to check out and see what I thought of that show, I have a whole like playlist of the 2013 shows I've reviewed so far. Yeah. So peace out, guys.